Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Narcissistic. I am your host, Dr. Yaya Marie, and thank you so much for being here. If you're listening to me on Spotify, Apple, or just on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. And if you celebrated the American Thanksgiving, I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful holiday. Now, I know some of you, I recently actually did a video about how the narcissist will critique your food or how you dress, what you do. And, around this time of year, the narcissist crawls from under their rock and they like to, start to reminisce or, just to try to win you back again, all to discard and devalue you once more. Now, we have to be strong. You have to be strong, especially during this time of year where people are getting together with their families and celebrating. Listen, we have a community online. We are here for each other. A lot of us, don't have much family, don't have many friends, but guess what? We can connect through the interwebs. We can connect right here. So don't be shy. Make sure that you're commenting. Make sure that you're liking, wherever you are. Read the comments under and respond to other people. You never know how your comment may help someone. Even if you are listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure that you comment, review, give a thumbs up, like, follow, because we are here and we are a community that understands narcissism from a spiritual perspective. Okay. Now, today, or tonight, wherever you're listening to from, we are talking about being under the influence, demonic oppression, and narcissism. Now, I want to start by saying that there is a difference between demonic oppression and full out possession. One being that when a person is demonically possessed, they are under the full control of the demonic. There can be instances where a person is not under full control of the demonic, and that is called, which is what we really see a lot. Usually when you're dealing with, possessed, we talk about movies and how they portray demonic possession, with the head spinning or the levitating. Now, don't get me wrong, those things can happen. But usually what we see the most is a person that is being demonically oppressed, meaning they can be a believer of God and they are under some type of satanic influence. They are not fully possessed. Okay, so I want to get that out of the way and really set the record straight on that. So a person can be demonically oppressed, which is basically being demonically or satanically influenced. That does not mean that they are fully taken over. They do still have free will, which I will get to later on in the show. It is important to note that these people do have free will, meaning we cannot make excuses or we cannot use this topic to say, hey, this person, they're not right spiritually, so I know they can't help themselves, and we don't want to make any excuses for poor behavior. This is not what this show is about. This is not what this channel is about. No more excuses for poor behavior. Everyone has free will. Right from wrong, especially adults. And narcissists, believe it or not, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. It's not like, oh, they just can't help themselves. No, you got to get away from that type of thinking, okay? So there is a difference between full out possessed and a demonic oppression, which is someone being influenced by a satanic thought, a drop-in thought, a suggestion, a demonic suggestion, which is how these types of beings or types of demonic entities, how they get humans to actually because inside of it, in their type of thinking. So say for instance, you're just sitting at home, you're reading, or whatever you do at home, and all of a sudden you just get a thought where it's like, whoa, where did that come from? Like, why would I think something so disgusting or nasty, or where would a thought like that come from? Well, that is a drop in, where a satanic influence just drops in and gets you to think or suggest to you something that they want you to think about, want you to do. Remember, a lot of this is about the power of suggestion, because of course, like I just stated, we do have free will. And you have to understand that these entities, they can't just all of a sudden just jump on people and rule people. They can't just do that. There has to be some level of your cooperation. So most of the time, you will get a demonic thought or suggestion, okay, just to get you to let your guard down a little bit and, get on do more of what they want you to do, not your own will. Okay, you got to think these entities, we have something that they want, which is our body. We're in the flesh, right? So these types of beings, they don't have that. And what they do is, since they don't have a flesh body, they will get you, or try to get a person to be towards their benefit. Okay. I know that some of this may sound far-fetched, but it's true. This is all biblical. And, if you've been sticking with me for a long time and listening for a while, you already know that this can be scriptural. This is all backed up by scriptures. So we just covered how those are two different things: oppression and full out possession. Most of the time, what people are dealing with is the influence or the actual persuasion of demonic influence. Okay. Now that we know that those are two separate parts of an individual that could be tainted with, now it is important to know that this happens in the soul realm. Remember that man, or humans, are a tripartite being, meaning you have a physical body that has a soul, that has a spirit. Like, there's a 3-in-1 there. Okay. All of these are different components that compose you. So when we're getting to, let's say you're a believer in the Messiah, you've been saved. Your spirit is one with the Messiah. Your soul is a lifelong process. Your soul is a lifelong process of renewing. That is why you renew your mind. The scriptures say, renew your mind. There's a difference between your soul and your spirit and your physical being. Your soul holds your intellect, your emotion. Okay. And just a side note here, you see a lot these days moving in what I call more like soul power. They're speaking to or motivating your soul with feel good messages. Now, I'm not knocking that, but there comes a point where your spirit, man, needs to be fed. Your spirit needs to be fed. There's a difference. This is why man is a tripartite being. If you want to have more reference on that, I do have a video on the soul, just the 3 components. Okay. And I'll definitely leave the link there. So most of the influence, or the demonic influence, is happening on physical in the soul realm. Now, especially if you are a believer in Christ, your spirit man is saved. So all of the influence and the demonic influence, this is happening at a soul level. It's a war on your soul. This is why, this is a big one, your dreams are attacked, or your mind is attacked. That's because it is a soul level attack. Everybody got that? Everybody got that? I know that one is really kind of a heavy one, because it's like, wow, but it makes so much sense. And one thing about dreams were, and are a big deal. They are a big deal. And a lot of people aren't talking about this enough. And, we hear it here and there, but I want you to understand that your spirit man or your soul man state is still up while your physical body may be sleeping. This is why people of the occult, sad to say, they know this type of stuff. That's why they're all into these frequencies as they go to sleep. They're, doing things in their sleep, trying to leave their bodies in their sleep. They know this. Okay. I don't understand why it's such a hard pill to swallow when it comes to believers. And I can prove this. As a matter of fact, remember when Joseph, he dreamt where an angel came to him in a dream and told Joseph to take baby Jesus and run. He went to Egypt. Remember that? Then you have Solomon's dream, where Solomon had a whole conversation with God, where all of that was when he was asleep. God asked Solomon, whatever you want, I'll give it to you. And Solomon replied, mind you, he's sleeping this whole time. Solomon replied, I want wisdom. I want to teach your people. God granted his request. All of that was when he was sleeping. And there's so many more. Then you have Jacob's dream. Then you have King Nebuchadnezzar's dream. And you have the interpreter with Daniel. He interpreted dreams. This is very significant because a lot of times the things that are happening in our sleep are either warnings or they're either prophecies that may come to pass, or they can be attacks that are trying to be sent at you. And I remember I did a video on how, because people used to, really ask about, what was it? Dogs. They kept seeing dogs, especially when you're, with a narcissist. And listen, please understand where, Job says, God speaks once, then twice, but you don't understand it. Then he will give you a dream. And that's when he will seal the instructions in a dream. So this is not unusual, especially if, you're having dreams where, because I recently, talked to a young lady who actually was having dreams about the person that she is with. Her partner, was actually out to get her. And it's one thing to have one dream, and you may not just kind of, not pay attention to it. But what does the scripture say? It says that God speaks once, yet twice, but man does not perceive it. Then in a dream, in a vision of a night, he opens the ears of men. Now that's in Job 33, 14 through 16. So if you're getting repetitive signs, and then you're getting repetitive dreams about a person hurting you, then I would say, something's not adding up here. Maybe I should listen. Now, I'm not saying this is always the case, because of course you can have a dream and it could be a trick from the enemy to get you to turn on your spouse, to get you to turn on a person that you know. But I would say usually when you have a repetitive dream that is with that same person out to get you, yeah, that is definitely a red flag, especially if it's the same person out to get you. Okay. So pay attention when you're, this dream thing is something big, because that is the spiritual world that precedes our physical. Okay. Now, What the world calls karma is actually the law of reaping and sowing. What the world calls karma is actually the law of reaping and sowing, meaning what you put out, you will get back. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever he sows, that he also reaps. What does a narcissist sow? Anyone have a good answer for that one? I mean, what can we say? Manipulation, cheating, lies, slander, financial thievery. What do they sow? I have you ever met a narcissist and you can say, you know what? This person, they all they gave me was love. That, I mean, it wouldn't be a narcissist then. Whatever a narcissist sows, they will reap. So the day will come where it's going to be harvest time. It's going to be harvest time. It's time to plant. It's time to actually dig up what you planted. You may not see it now, especially, some people go and they let some time go by and they go back and check or snoop, or maybe you ran into someone at the store, or you have a mutual friend of the narcissist. And it may seem as if the narcissist is actually doing better without you. They may be doing really well. Can I tell you something? Don't listen to that fake happiness. All of it is fake. God is not a liar. He is not a liar. Whatever you sow, you will reap. And a lot of the phonery, if that's a word, a lot of this phony happiness, this fake relationship, they will smear it all over Facebook. They will smear it all over Instagram. They go out to maybe if you go to church, because I will say a lot of believers are coming out of these churches because they understand that there's something going on with the church. That's a whole nother story. But don't feel guilty if you do feel led to leave the 4-wall building church. Don't feel guilty about that, because a lot of and I've told this story so many times, a lot of the highest occult people are in the church, and that's definitely a totally different story. But when you see all of this fake happiness and they're just roaming around all blissful, listen, all of it is a show. And this is especially true when they know that you're watching. When they see you watching, or they know that you're watching, oh my goodness, somebody bring out the vomit buckets, because they are going to go so hard with the lovey-dovey ridiculousness on the internet. But you know what's going on behind closed doors. As a matter of fact, the exes, they always know. This is why when you meet a narcissist, they talk so much craziness about that ex-girlfriend or boyfriend. It's because they know that they have to have some type of discord between the new supply and the old supply. Because if that new supply reach back out to that old supply, oh no, you're getting all the tea, you're getting all the coffee, all the real deal about this narcissist. And they're not going to hold back. But as a person that is an old supplier, what is deemed an old supply, it's never good to go and issue a warning to the new person that the narcissist is targeting. It's not good. Of course, anything that you say will be wrong. They have to figure it out on their own. And sooner or later, God is not mocked. He said, what you sow, you will reap. And then we know that the narcissists, they do this with every person that they meet. They do this with everyone. So it's not like, I'm saying don't take it personal. Yes, it's definitely personal. But I mean, don't be surprised that the narcissist is faking it on the internet. They have to fake it because they need the world to think that they are not the problem. See, the world has to think that you are the problem. And we know that's not true. So that when you see the fake happiness, just know that it's all a game. And the more fakeness that you see on the internet, the more fake happiness you see on the internet, the worse the relationship behind closed doors. And this is especially true if you see the new supply love bombing the narcissist. I remember I did a video on that recently, and someone was like, can you explain this? Explain this. Honestly, it's really simple. You have the new supply with the narcissist, and they're sucking up, quite frankly, they're sucking up to the narcissist. And how many of you know to please a narcissist, you have to almost worship them? Not only that, you have to be their mother, their father, their personal secretary, their assistant. You also have to be their driver. You have to work for them, and they still will not be pleased. So when you see this new supply carrying the whole relationship, then coming home from working 2-3 jobs and then still love bombing the narcissist themselves, it's fake. It's fake. When you see that, you just know with a surety that that relationship is crumbling, and they're scrambling to do anything that they can do to please the narcissist into staying because they don't want to be embarrassed. The new supply does not want to admit, hey, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe the ex was right. Maybe the ex is not crazy. See, they're not going, that new supply, the pride of the new supply, that's not going to let them go and say, hey, I think I might have made a mistake with this person. It's not going to happen. They have to put on that show as if they picked the greatest person in the world and you were the problem. I'm telling you, this is why you have to be totally free, totally away from the situation. Wash your hands. Don't look back. Don't be like Lot's wife. We talked about how Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt. The significance with that is because a pillar of salt is useless. You will not be able to do what God has called you to do if you're stuck in the past. Am I right or wrong? Let's type it in chat. Let's get some dialogue going over there. So this is the fake happiness and the love bombing. Oh my goodness, especially when you see that new supply scrambling to love bomb that narcissist. Whew. All is not well. Just know that. Next point, moving right along here. Oh goodness, let me tell you. Do you know that being in this type of relationship, and I just really don't like to call it that, tell you the truth, but being in this type of scenario, we'll just call it a relationship for the sake of, lack of better words, but this is not true love. This is not true love. Because I recently heard someone, I always will love this person. I will, nope. Stop, stop it. Pump the brakes. True love lasts forever. Love is patient. Love is kind. You already know the scriptures, right? Is love gaslighting, manipulation? You mean to tell me you don't have self-control where you won't cheat and you don't love me enough where you cannot just stop lying? And you're telling me that this is true love? The creator of heaven and earth said, you know what? You are supposed to be with this con artist of a narcissist. But since your pastor said, who God put together, let no man put us under, so it must be right. No. Nope. Anyone could be ordained to be a pastor. Did you know that? You go online and take a little course. You pay, what is it? $45. I know it's less than $100. It might be less than $50. And you can be an ordained minister to marry people. It doesn't matter what faith you are. It doesn't matter any of that. So since a person has a certificate where they can legally marry someone, it must be right. No, it doesn't work like that. No. True love lasts forever. And I want to make sure that people wake up and understand what they are actually dealing with. What you're dealing with is a person who is hosting an evil spirit, and the target is you. The target is you. Some of these spirits are what we call a familiar spirit, meaning it's familiar or known in your lineage. So you, as a person right now, in your 20s or 30s, excuse me, in your 20s or 30s, could be in a narcissistic relationship, right? Then your eyes have been open. You have got this revelation. You see the truth. Maybe now you've been listening to my channel and or other people's channel, and you're like, wait a minute, now I know what I'm dealing with. I recognize this spirit. Then you start thinking, wait a minute, my dad or my mother, they also had a relationship like this. Then you start thinking, hold on, this also happened to another person in my family. Do you know that this spirit, this familiar spirit that picked the narcissist that you were with, has been also traveling through your lineage, because a spirit doesn't have an age on it as we do in the physical flesh. So this same spirit could be the one that set you up, your mother up, your dad up, your grandmother up. It's in your lineage for generations. This is why it is so important that this kind only comes out by prayer and fasting. We're talking about a genealogy, a lineage, something that has been in the actual, I don't want to say bloodline, but in the lineage for a long time. So it's work to get clear of these types of things. I want you to understand that this is not the only way that you can get free from this is through prayer and fasting. The master said it himself. When you run into people that are telling you, take my class, or rub some oil and put salt and do types of rituals, take spiritual baths, all type of witchcraft, that is witchcraft. Yes, it is. All of those rituals are witchcraft. Those may seem as if they are innocent, but what they're doing is it's making it worse, and it's making that covenant stronger, to the point where you start seeing not only just, narcissistic relationships, then you're giving that spirit even more leeway and power to actually cause more destruction in your lineage. So it may start off as I was just in a narcissistic relationship. Then you start getting to, wow, I keep getting sick, just random illnesses. Then you start getting into, oh, I just keep getting into these car accidents. Then eventually it progresses to premature death. So when you see these people telling you, pay me, I can get you healed, don't believe it. Don't believe it. The only way that you can get healed from this is through prayer and fasting. That's the only way to break the actual covenant and the seal of the covenant that it made this spirit go through the lineage. That's the only way to get through it. You cannot pay your way through this. That is a prosperity doctrine, and that is a false doctrine, but it's actually demonic, because what they're saying is, hey, you can pay me and I will get you healed through a different way other than believing in the Messiah and praying. I'll get you in the back door. You don't have to do all of that. Forget Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Forget him. Let's just pay me and do this ritual and you can be healed. It does not work like that. It doesn't work like that. I'm telling you, it's really bad. I've been seeing these things, and oh my goodness. All I could do at this point is pray that people will see what is really going on and wake up. These people are telling you that you can be healed and send money, and they got all these what's it called? The people in Africa, the Babas, Sangomas, and not only them too, but there's other people that have been on here doing rituals. I'm not even going to name them because I don't even want people to look them up. But listen, I mean, I think people are at this point are getting either desperate or maybe people just don't care about the word. But even if you were indifferent and you weren't really sure, let's say, for instance, you don't know what I'm saying is true or right. Let's say, for instance, you don't know. And you hear that you can, I don't know, what is it? What do people do now to try to cleanse? You can do a spiritual bath, or what is it? What do they put the water in, or they blow the water? Whatever ritual, right? What if, I mean, I would just play it safe. Because what if I am right? What if that little thing right there that you think is little has the ability to tie up your children and your children's children? What if it were true? I'm not a betting woman, but I would take my chance and say, you know what? I'm not going to do this because what if just in case? What if just in case it's wrong? I don't want to be on the other side of wrong. Yeah, these YouTube streets, the computer, the internet. I mean, we really are, I'm thankful that a lot of this information is able to get out. But just like this good information is able to get out, so are the demonic realm and the bad people, the evil people, the ones that are out in it just for, quick money or just to expose people to the dark side. They're out here too. So you have to have really good discernment and pray for discernment because they are out there. Another point, these spirits are already rejected. So there is no repentance for these evil spirits. You're talking to, not talking to, but you're talking about spirits that have already, they know their end. They know their end. Remember when the evil spirit talked to Jesus of Nazareth and he said, what have you come to do? Torment us before our time? They know that their end is in a lake of fire. They know their end is to be tormented forever. Some of them aren't there yet because they're different classes. There's the Nephilim. There's the ones that are already locked in Tartarus. Then there's the fallen angels. So there's a lot of things that people are actually encountering. But these beings, they know that their end is to be tortured forever. So there is no repentance for evil spirits. Okay. With that being said, we cannot have any excuses for these people's poor behavior. In the beginning of the show, I said that everyone has free will. Everyone has free will. Think about Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel. And if you're not familiar with this, make sure that you look right on my page. It's the first video that pops up. It says Cain and Abel, narcissism, how it relates. Or make sure I have a excerpt on this in my book, When Satan Plays Matchmaker. Think about this, Cain and Abel, right? God told Cain that sin is crouching at the door. But if you do right, you can conquer it. Mind you, God is talking to a person, Cain, who has Satan as his father. And even he had free will. Cain had evil in his blood, and he still had the choice to do right. He still had the choice to be accepted by the Most High God, to fight temptation. He still had that choice. Everyone that is in this flesh, we have free will. So absolutely No excuses for narcissism. No excuses for their poor behavior. Do not feel sorry for demons. Don't do it. Because this, a lot of the times, this could save someone's life. You go back one more time to this toxic person, or, I just want some closure. You're never going to get closure with a narcissist. Never. You will not get closure. You know why? Because they are designed, they are manipulated. The narcissist is under a full out demonic oppression, might not be full possession. They are under an influence where this spirit is not going to give them closure because they want to keep your door open. So let's say the narcissist leaves, and you know how they discourage you and they just go ghost for however long, 2 weeks, 2 years, 2 months, or 2 hours, whatever. And what do? They come back around. Sometimes they ghost you for years, and you get a phone call and you're like, wait, what? They just want to talk like nothing happened, like they've been there the whole time. When an evil spirit leaves, it returns to its house. It goes back. This is nothing new. This is all scripture. So don't be sucked in and give these people sympathy. Yes, do you love this person? Possibly. But guess what? Give the Most High an opportunity to show you real love. How about that? Okay. We're not going to be playing, of course, I'm not telling anyone to be straight out, full out a horrible human being or to hate another human being. No, I'm not saying that, but the time to play with the spiritual aspect of these things, these evil spirits, these entities, we can't do it anymore. Too many people are being manipulated. Too many people are being, left with children that they don't want or care for. And I see this all the time. I remember I actually started out, I was a teacher. And I taught grades from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. And you see it all the time. And of course, and I'm also a foster parent. Okay. So I see this a lot. A lot of the narcissists, they leave the children. They don't even want the children. They just want to spread their demonic seed around to create more of them. This is why when you have a child that's like, you're like, maybe something's not really, what I mean? If you worked with children, or that there's something not right about a child, that's when you go to the Father and you dedicate your child that you probably had with this monster. You dedicate your children back to the Most High God. Pray for that child. Cover that child. This is serious. Now, before I get off here, I wanted to actually read a comment, and I wanted to read a comment because I was watching. Oh my goodness! I was watching Dave from Narcology. I mean, listen, I just pinched myself because I never would have thought that Dave from Narcology and Kevin Ewing actually told their listeners about my book. Like, I had to literally pinch myself, okay? Because it's like, I'm the underdog. The new one on the scene. And for people of that caliber, I didn't even tell them to hey, I never said any of that. This is how look, this is a miracle. No one can tell me that God is not real. No one can tell me that at all. But sometimes he reads a comment, and I wanted to just, kind of incorporate that here and there. And other YouTubers, do you see how easy that was to give props where props are due? Take note. Anywho, Jenny Greenwood, she said this today, and it caught me because this is such a a powerful statement. There is no telling how many times God told me no for quite a long time. Finally, listen to him and left. Please, if you're reading this now, do not entertain anyone who disrespects you. Listen, we're going to end on that note. Do not entertain anyone who disrespects you. The first inkling of a disrespect, blocked. You know why? Because that little bit of what they showed you, that can turn into a mountain. That little bit of disrespect can turn into so much more. And a narcissist will always give you little hints, if not big hints, always give you some hints here and there that, hey, they're not right. They're not right in the head. They're being demonically oppressed. Okay. And I just wanted to thank every single one of you for another great Wednesday. I love every one of you to pieces. Sometimes I go back and I sit and read comments and things. I try my best to answer everyone until I can actually get some page moderation or monitors for this page and as well as all the other pages that I have. Okay, so make sure that you're being safe, that you are looking out for yourself, and it's not selfish to look out for yourself. You don't want to give too much of yourself away, especially to these types of people who are hosting these entities that are set to what? Target you. All right. Thank you so much for another wonderful night. God loves you the very most. Bye.